excited about the ideas that Conley presented last year and in his book, College Knowledge. The one that really captured us was what is it that kids need to really, the section of the book that really captured us is what is it that students need to be able to do to be successful in college. And there's a lot. I think there's 13 some things. And each of them, you look at each of them and you're like, wow, you could unpack that and that could be a whole thing that the school focused on. What we decided to focus on was, as a staff, this is our leadership team here. But then, of course, the staff was asked to be leaders in the school, and we rely on them very heavily to be leaders in the school. We will all wear multiple hats, but we decided that 5 to 8 page paper is where we're going to start. We could have started anywhere, but 5 to 8 page paper seemed to make a lot of sense for us. And when our kids go into the college environment, we know from our own experience going through college, but we also know from their experience when they talk to us about what are the things that are challenging to them in the classroom. It's that paper. It's writing consistently. It's the reading and the writing. They're doing so much reading. There's so much writing, way more than they did in the high school classes. So what can we do to better prepare them? All right. And so we came at it from that framework, using what Conley's research shows is really important, and that was our goal. So that's kind of where we came at all this. And of course, this is all collaborative. I mean, we've got the support from MCNC in terms of what their experiences are, with their work with lots of other schools. We know our kids, we know our staff. KPI provides the analysis, and we're able to kind of come at this from a multi-dimensional kind of way. In addition, we have professors at ODU, our partner school out of Indiana University, that were really excited about the research component of this. Two professors in the College of Education that really want to know, so are the kids better prepared? Do the teachers feel better supported, more supported? And what are the outcomes? What get it captured in their voice? What is it that they felt like? Did this work, or was this just kind of another initiative that is being thrown down? The teacher starts to we're going to do this, and it's going to work. And so they captured that work, and we're going to hear later this summer how what they found. Doris's work really captured the process and then analyzed the jams. What is this? What is it that the staff is saying? How do we take that into the leadership group to help guide us in the next couple of steps? But this is it's a very complicated thing that we're trying to do here. To initiate change is very, very complicated. One of the first things that we did, once we figured out 5 to 8 page paper, once we had that in our mindset, then we said to the teachers, okay, so how do you know when the kids have hit a good paper? What does a good paper look like? How do we know we reached that goal? And so they, as a group, generated this writing rubric. And this is, if you're familiar with, is it 5+1? 6 plus 1. Thank you. The 6+1, they used that as an inspiration. We started with that. We kind of ripped out, parts of it and then put it back in. And then our English teacher, David Hall, who's a senior leader here, and I'm sorry that you can't really read it up here, but you can see it on the website there. He then put in all the words about what does this look like, and then we did lots of training with the staff of, okay, so you're a science teacher. How do you apply this rubric to what you're doing in science? And then they actually tried to apply it, and then kicked it back out, and they said, well, wait, hold on. What do you mean by clarity? What does good clarity mean for me as a science teacher versus you? Mechanics, really tough for people outside of English department to feel comfortable grading mechanics, because you're talking about grammar, you're talking about sentence structure, and that's something that we know maybe intuitively, but we don't teach it, right? In a high school setting, we're very disciplined focused, and so they felt very uncomfortable doing that. And so what we did is talked about it as a whole school. And the English department actually went through and said, okay, what is it that you are comfortable with? Where could we teach you? Where could we help you understand this a little bit better? How could we focus in on that? But this is the teacher-generated rubric, right? So they've got the 5 things: content, clarity, format, mechanics, and organization. These are 5 things that sort of indisputable. This is what a good paper would have all these 5 things in a proficient kind of manner. Okay, and so then the teachers are trained on how is it that they could use and apply it to their particular discipline. Where could they, if they feel comfortable just tossing out some of the verbiage that David threw in there as an English teacher that he feels comfortable with, and they wanted to put in their own stuff, they were given that freedom. We're very, very flexible as a group, and so this is what we were using to assess the kids' writing. So and I'll pull up examples later. The science teacher threw out a project and said, at the end of this project, you're going to give me a 2 to 3 page paper. maybe it's a smaller project. You're going to give me a 2-3 page paper, and I'm going to grade it, and I'm going to use this rubric, and I'm going to grade it according to this rubric. Okay? So it's a way of sort of standardizing the assessment so that we're all kind of hitting on the same 5 things over time, okay, in every discipline.
If I could just throw in right here, one question that came up early was, do we all need to be doing the same thing in our classes and essentially modeling what the English teachers are doing in my science class, in my social studies class, in my math class, and et cetera? And we said, no, that's exactly what we don't want to have happen. We want to have the writing in the math class to be authentic to what math students are working on, not trying to shoehorn something else into them. So math teachers then were thinking through, how do we get our students to write about their process in figuring out a math problem that was given to them. And so to be taking that as the way they designed their writing in this work is what they did. So.
Yeah, they felt like we were outsourcing the English department responsibility onto everybody else.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah, and if I could just say, this did not take a month. This did not take 5 months. This took pretty much the entire year. And when Greg talks about struggle, this was a struggle. There was tremendous pushback and desire to give me the right answer, and let's be done with it. I don't want to work through this myself. Resistance to continue a conversation for more than a very limited amount of time. Tremendous resistance on the part of the staff to write about the process and to write about writing in their subject area. But in the end, I think we all learned and we all grew.
And we gently tell our staff that you cannot give what you don't have. And if we're expecting students to write, then we need to model writing. And but you don't use the club, you use the velvet club. And so but I think that you do need to take time for people to come to their own understandings, and people of goodwill in our schools, which most of us are, will see that hey, if this is working, then it's what I want to do.